Brown tree snakes on Guam. Guam is a lush tropical Pacific island in the Marianas Chain that was once a habitat for numerous colorful, native species of birds, small rodents, lizards, and other tiny mammals. Then, sometime during or after World War I, a new species arrived on Guam and began devastating the natural fauna on the island. This was the brown tree snake, a native of Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, the Solomon Islands, and the northern coast of Australia. The snake was first discovered on Guam in 1952 but likely arrived years earlier. With no natural predators and an abundance of food, the brown tree snake population grew dramatically, and the snake eventually began causing serious problems both for the native people and the natural. The brown tree snake is a slightly venomous nocturnal animal averaging roughly a meter or 2 in length as an adult. Breeding twice a year, it produces between 4 and 12 offspring. It hunts by using its vision and chemical sense to detect prey. The snake stalks its prey and then lunges at and bites the animal in order to hold its victim in place. Then, the snake wraps its body around the animal to constrict it before consuming its prey. During the day, the snake shelters in shady spots such as in trees and caves. The snake's slender body allows it to wriggle into tight places, so it easily slithers through pipes, into pet cages, and even into tiny cracks in walls. This has caused residents of Guam to be highly vigilant in protecting their homes from invasion. While the snake's venom is too weak to seriously harm adult humans, it can still injure small children. How and when the brown tree snake arrived on Guam remains a mystery. During World War I, the American military constructed enormous bases on islands in the South Pacific Ocean, including on Guam, and all of them were connected by sea and air transport routes. And there is a high probability that the snake arrived on Guam as a stowaway on a cargo ship or airplane, coming from its native range of habitation. This theory is given legitimacy by the fact that ship and airplane crews leaving Guam always search their vessels for the invasive species, a task which frequently results in their finding the brown tree. The fauna on Guam began declining in the 1960s, which was when the brown tree snake population exploded. In its native lands, wild pigs and lizards prey upon the snake, yet no such predators exist on Guam. Wildlife experts on Guam noticed in the 1960s that the southern third of the island was suffering gigantic losses of native bird species. The area with disappearing birds slowly extended, creeping toward the northern part of Guam year by year. By 1985, virtually the entire island, except for a few small, isolated pockets in the northern part, was devoid of native bird species. To date, wildlife experts on Guam have recorded the total extinction of at least 12 bird species that were once plentiful there. Scientists were puzzled at first, and they believed that pesticides had perhaps caused the decline in bird populations, but after conducting more research, they concluded that the brown tree snake was responsible. They then started noticing the decline in lizard and small rodent populations, and people even began reporting attacks on their pets and snake invasions in their homes. To counter the growing problem, the people of Guam developed traps that would attract the snake and then kill it. Each trap contained a dead rodent laced with the drug acetaminophen, which is capable of killing the brown tree snake. These traps were dropped from airplanes into the dense jungle foliage all over the island. In recent years, the brown tree snake population has declined. Yet experts believe this has more to do with the dwindling food supply than human efforts, as the snake has effectively reached a balance point between how many can exist on the island without there being any more food sources.